Yeah, that's okay. 87, 1943. Well, I guess I didn't want to, be a party to killing people. There's that was probably my biggest motivation, I would say. My dad and mother, my mother was day of Pearl Harbor, which was in December the 7th, 1941. I was ice skating and I was 16 then when I came home. That's when the attack on Pearl Harbor was. And, well, she was crying because she knew then that there was going to be war and it wasn't going to get over quickly. So, the draft was already on. So when I was 18, then I got drafted. When you turned 18, you had to automatically be registered when you was 18. Well, I was 18 in October. And then in February, I got notification to go to my family doctor and get examined. And then about a week or so after that, I got classified as 1A. And then I got my induction notices, I think, in the first part of March. Well, I went to the draft board and told them I wasn't going to go. And they said, we have to turn you over to the federal district attorney and have a warrant for your arrest, for not going to the reporting for the draft board. And that was sometime in March, and around the end of March, and that's when the U.S. Marshals came and arrested me. I trial little, in the latter part of April, 1st of May. I was in the county jail for 4 days before, my folks could make bail to get me out on bond. And then I was out on bond for about, almost 3 weeks, and then I had to go in for my arraignment, and then the judge declares you're guilty, and then you go for trial. And then you get a jury trial, and that was about a week later. And then 5 days after that, then you go back for you're found guilty. Of course, everybody, says you're guilty. So then 5 days later, you go back for sentencing, and then you get, that's when I got 5 years. 16 months off for good behavior if you don't get in any trouble. When you're in prison and you keep that good time, then you get out in 44 months. So I was there, not quite 4 years. So a lot of prisoners, they was there for stealing cars and other things, and of course they didn't like us because we wouldn't fight for the country. Well, they did other things against the country that was worse than what we did. So there wasn't too much of that. Sometimes, when you're out in the playground, there's always like what we call river rocks. Little pebbles about an inch and a half in diameter. They'd throw them at you, and once in a while you get hit in the leg or something. You didn't see it coming in time. And of course, we could only have the steady for the watchtower for the steady. We had to turn them back in, so we would only have them for a watchtower steady. And then later on, and when the Theocratic Ministry School came out, we got a hold of a book, the little booklet, orange booklet. I don't know, had about 50 lessons in it.
Yeah.
And what was I saying? Then we had Theocratic Ministry School. And the Watchtower Study. And one of the representatives from New York came to visit us every 6 months. His name was Macmillan. There's about over 4,000 in prison altogether in the whole country. So he would make a tour of the prisons, So he'd come around about every 6 months, and we had a special meeting for that. Well, the first couple of weeks after we get home, it was kind of strange when we just men around us all the time for practically 4 years, and then all at once you're in the congregation with, sisters. And it was took a while to kind of get used to that. But after a little while, you kind of flowed in, it didn't seem to bother you too much. Well, I think, I got a good education. I think being in prison is educational. You make what you want to of it.